I think the only thing that we have in common with Kiss now is that, they like to make money and they like girls, but as far as their music go, basically their music's like second fiddle to their other desires. Our music comes first.
38 years after Appetite for Destruction, Axl Rose walks out in a black hat and a half smile that says he still enjoys the burn. This year, Guns N' Roses not only returned to India for the first time in 13 years, they also lined up an autumn run across Latin America, keeping one of rock's loudest machines very much alive. So what does Axl's life actually look like in 2025? On the road, at home, and in the quiet between the noise? To understand it, start with the current tour and a few changes behind the kit. Still touring, the 2025 machine. In May, Guns N' Roses packed Mumbai's Mahalakshmi racecourse with a set that ran through the Canon, Sweet Child of Mine, November Rain, Paradise City, and reminded everyone that this band can still tilt a city for a night. Logistics at the venue drew heat online, but the music landed, and that's what people went home talking about. The schedule doesn't slow down. After a sweep through Europe, Asia, and the Middle East this summer, the group added a second leg for fall, 13 dates across Latin America, from Costa Rica and El Salvador to Colombia, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Peru, and Mexico. Their official site lists stadiums from San Jose's Estadio Nacional to Mexico City's Estadio GNP Seguros, with tickets flying as fast as the rumors. In short, it's a global year. There's also a fresh face on drums. After nearly 2 decades with the band, Frank Ferrer departed. The new stickman is Isaac Carpenter, announced in March and now anchoring the 2025 run. If you've heard him with AWO A Nation or Loaded, you know why the groove feels locked again. Guarding the show, privacy as a priority. One storyline this summer, selective media access. At the Barcelona stop, Spanish outlets reported that press were kept out entirely, an intentional buffer from commentary about looks, surgeries, or voice that can swamp the music. When you can sell out stadiums without press rooms, you are in the right to set the terms, and Axl has never been shy about doing exactly that. It fits his broader pattern. Keep the circle tight, let the music do the talking, and focus fan energy on the stage, not the headlines. That ethos stretches across continents and years, and it shapes how he builds the rest of his life. Early spark, long fuse. Born William Bruce Rose Jr. in Lafayette, Indiana, February 6, 1962, he found his first outlet in a church choir and school chorus before Los Angeles taught him speed, swagger, and survival. Bands like Rapid Fire, Hollywood Rose, and Los Angeles Guns were the dress rehearsal. Guns N' Roses was the main event. Within 2 years of forming in 1985, the band detonated with Appetite for Destruction and changed the shape of rock radio overnight. The 1991 Use Your Illusion 1-2 punch cemented it. The strange, long quiet of the late 1990s gave way to reunion fireworks in the late 2010s and, crucially, new songs in the 2020s, Hard School and ABSURD 2021, then Perhaps and The General 2023. That last burst matters. It proves Axl still feeds the creative muscle, not just the nostalgia machine. The point isn't to relive the bio, it's to show the through line. Whenever he turns the tap, the world still listens. The working rituals, voice, fitness, and focus. Forget the caricature. In 2025, fans and local press from multiple stops have noted a leaner, sharper Axl, moving easier, grinning more, managing the set with quick pivots between full-throttle howl and piano bench restraint. The routine behind that? Less mystery than discipline. Travel day rest where possible, warm-ups that keep range without shredding it, and a set list built to breathe. The evidence isn't just in write-ups, it's in the shows themselves, like Mumbai, where thousands got what they came for despite the venue chaos. Is every night perfect? Of course not. Big Room Rock is a high-wire act, and audiences can be brutally honest. Scroll any form after a show. But the 2025 arc, the photos, the footage, the ticket demand, backs a simple claim. He's figured out how to show up strong more nights than not, with a band that can carry the freight.
Home base, Malibu, quiet California sun. Axl's longtime headquarters is a hillside property off Latigo Canyon Road in Malibu, about 4,333 square feet, purchased back in 1992. Public records and property trackers still tie him to that address, with assessed values climbing over the years as the Malibu market leapt. Think trees, ocean air, and a layout that favors privacy over spectacle. It's not a museum, it's a retreat, somewhere to unwind, rehearse quietly, and keep close to a life that isn't measured in decibels. He's always been a homebody in bursts. Time with animals, the man's a noted pet person, time with art, and a preference for keeping the front gate closed unless there's a reason to open it. That solitude isn't aloofness. It's a way to save energy for the rooms that need it most, arenas, and the studio. Money and legacy, what the numbers say. Net worth estimates in 2025 still hover around $200 million. The math isn't complicated. Decades of touring at the stadium level, a catalog that never leaves rotation, and a brand strong enough to drop new dates and watch them vanish in minutes. Big rock bands are businesses. Guns N' Roses is a very big business, and Axl, founder, frontman, and lightning rod, sits right at the center of the cash flow. But the more interesting part of his lifestyle is what he doesn't flaunt. Yes, he's owned serious cars. The 918 Spider has been widely reported for years. And yes, there's a Malibu address that fans can rattle off. But he doesn't live on photo ops. The flex is the same as it's been since the late 80s. Fill the calendar with shows that matter. Record when there's a reason to record. And keep your private life private. New songs, old fire, the creative pulse. However you felt about Absurd, Hard School, Perhaps, or The General, their existence is the headline. After years where the question was, will we ever get anything new, the 2020s answered with a steady trickle. The live show has evolved to fit. Staples are non-negotiable, deep cuts rotate, and the newer tracks slide in as connective tissue. Little signals that the band isn't a museum piece. And with a refreshed rhythm section, the engine room has a new bounce that every guitarist in the crowd can hear. That matters for legacy. Stadium tours can print money indefinitely. But great bands stay great by refreshing the formula. Tweaks to the lineup, fresh arrangements, a new single that surprises you when the bridge hits. 2025 has all of that, plus a fan base that keeps showing up, generation after generation. The 2025 lifestyle, up close. It's simpler than the myth. Work weeks cluster around show runs. Off days disappear to flights, rest, and recovery. Decisions flow toward two goals: protect the voice and protect the show. That's why you'll see policies like restricted press pits in certain cities, or set list flexibility when a venue's sound fights back. It's strategic, not moody. The point is to keep the bar high, not to play whack-a-mole with strangers on the internet. And when the doors close, Malibu, quiet. Dogs, art on the walls, a guitar that's always within reach. No grand reinvention required. Just the daily practice of recharging the battery so the next city gets the full blast. It's not the most dramatic story in rock, but it's the reason this one is still happening. The point of the fire. Axl Rose's 2025 lifestyle is less about chaos and more about control of the stage, the schedule, and the story he wants the world to hear. He's touring hard, choosing when to open the gate to cameras, writing just enough to prove the spark still jumps, and keeping home truly home. The headlines may orbit the persona, but the life is tuned for the performance. And when the piano lights up under the rain of phone screens and November rain crests into that last solo, you understand why he protects it so fiercely. This is the work. This is the life.